Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tea and Sweets Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another great episode. Of course, you guys know the Tea and Sweets Lounge is a celebrity-based podcast show where we interview celebrities. And of course, I'm super excited for my next guest right now. He's an actor, he's an author, and I'm just very happy to be speaking with him today. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Ameer Baraka. Hi, Ameer.
Hey, how are you? Good to be here. Happy
Doing
New Year. Happy belated
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year. Doing good. How are you
Yeah,
doing today?
I'm doing exceptionally well. Exceptionally well.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you for joining in on us with us today. Since we got you on here, I'm going to go ahead and fire the first question at you. Ameer, what began your passion for acting?
What began my passion? I used to do drama in elementary school, and I went out to California when I was 19 and got heavily involved, my brother and I, in doing plays with Michael Matthews, and it kind of rekindled that thing that I had while in elementary school. And I always was a class clown and outgoing person, so uh, I just delved into acting, and I was reflecting on Charles Dutton. He was a guy who had went to prison just like myself, and I rekindled another fire for acting while in prison and while reading about Charles Dutton. And so I
Oh,
kind of wanted to emulate him. And during that time, it was the rock show. And he was a guy who had came out of prison, but he was a garbage man, and he was really helping kids in the community. And I basically had that same passion and drive. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to follow this guy's path, because it was
yeah.
my passion as well to help other guys that were incarcerated while I was incarcerated, to kind of like enlighten that, hey man, listen, we have enslaved ourselves. And so actors are actually the gods of this world. The entertainers are gods of this world. And it was just an opportunity for me to
Yeah. I have to
speak
say, I
to the
really,
younger generation.
absolutely. I have to say, I really commend you for finding your kind of your passion in prison. You kind of had you had positivity. You kept positive. You had something that was a light for you, and that's what you strove to do, and that became your passion for acting. I really have to admire that. I really do. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Going on to
So
number
that's
two.
that's where that's where
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it. That's where a lot of the work began. I was doing plays in prison, acting out skits in prison. For the warden would have kids come off the street. It was kind of like a scare straight program. We were skits out of prison, and so we would do these skits in front of the kids. Man, it was very impactful, and so I just carried that on.
Oh wow. That's wow. That is incredible though. That's really incredible. So you made an impact. That's for sure. That is for sure. Um, Going on to the number two question, what roles do you gravitate to as an actor?
You know what? I really I enjoy. I work with Kathy Bates and Jessica Lange, and also stories together. And I played a, a slave guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
A servant, actually, in the servant back in the 1800s. And in acting, what happens is when you're performing or when you're walking out, living out the characters, there are certain times where you're there. It's the moment you're on. And I never forget, Kathy Bates and I were doing a scene together, and uh, we're doing this dated piece back in the 1800s,
Mm-hmm.
and white people, and I would serve them, and I had to bow my head as I went around and lowered my head and not give them eye contact. And I tell you, man, it was that moment when I realized, wow, it was it. And I worked with her for 6 weeks on the show, and she told me something after the show. She texted it to me on Twitter. She said, Amir, your work was strong and true. You are a great actor. And I never forgot that. And during the course of that time, I think that was in 2015, I had the opportunity to work with her. There was some very dark moments in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just tweeted her about 2 weeks ago, I tweeted her and told her that I wanted to give up on acting. But I remember what she had told me. And I said, I held on to it because I said, if you said that I was good, it must be true. And I wound up being nominated for an Emmy Award. So it was amazing, man.
Wow.
So I really, that role was something. I love doing dated pieces. I love those dated pieces. I love playing police officers. I had many infractions with the officer. I broke the law as a youth coming up. And so I was always intrigued by police officers, man, their characters and their roles. And so I love those roles as well.
Absolutely. And I have to say, wow, to be able to get a compliment like that from the Kathy Bates.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like freaking out for you. I mean, that is incredible. You can't get a bigger approval than that. This is Kathy Bates. It just doesn't get any bigger than that.
And that is that's actually on my Twitter because she just recently retweeted. Good job, Ameer. Glad you stayed in there. Glad you believe something of that note. And it's on my Twitter right now, so it's there. So.
Oh gosh, I have to check that out. To get a compliment from Kathy Bates, I would have passed out and just been so happy, just so happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad she convinced you not to give up on acting because obviously you have a path and it's just a beginning for you. So we definitely need actors like you. So I'm glad that you are continuing to keep going. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Going on to the number 3 question. Of all the different roles that you played, what's been your favorite role so far?
Bronx SIU, where I played the detective, that was a good role. I really enjoyed that, working with Brian White, talented brother. But I would have to say that piece with American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, who it was Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett played my love interest on the show.
Yes, she did.
For 6 weeks. And so, just working with a pool of talented people. I've never worked with that many talented people before because what happens is when you are involved around a pool of talented people, it brings you come with your A game. It's a challenge. You want to do scenes with these people. You just want to present yourself in a professional way, and the best come out of you. You rise to the occasion. You don't shrink back. You rise. It shows you what's inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that was the greatest moment of my life with that role because I was working around such talent. Gabby Sidive. I mean, these are talented people that I had the opportunity to work with, and Alfonso Gomez. Just talented people. So I would have to say that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And I have to say, a little side question. What was your reaction like when you met Angela Bassett? Because I'm going to say personally, I'm going to ugly cry. So that's just me. So.
Hey, I tell you this. I'm a guy, I keep myself in decent shape. And I was looking for the opportunity to do something with her that would have been romantic. And she was up for it. Angela was actually up for it, but the directors they have their own path. But I mean, she is such a Jew, she's just beautiful, inside and out.
Yes.
Humility, strong. Many adjectives really can't describe Angela Bassett. Just a magnanimous person, man.
Love it.
Authentic, genuine, talented, gifted. She actually ate with some of the extras. She is very abnormal in a she is normal in an abnormal business. Let's say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That
very
is
wonderful
awesome.
person. Wonderful person.
Oh, that is so awesome. So awesome. And that is amazing to be able to work with talent like Kathy Bates, Angela Bassett. I mean, that is a great way to start, honestly.
Forrest Wood, I work with Forrest Whitaker. I work with Blair Underwood, Hill Harper.
Ooh.
Work with some talented people. Work with some very
Yeah.
talented people, man.
Ah, Forrest Whitaker. I've been a fan of his since as long as I can remember. He's just one of the most versatile actors I've ever actually witnessed ever. So I am actually jealous that you got to work with Forrest Whitaker because there's just nothing he can do that I say I won't watch it. If it's Forrest Whitaker in it, I'll watch it. Take my money.
Yeah.
I'm already in.
Oh, yeah. Talented brothers. Talented
Absolutely.
brothers and sisters, man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Going on to the number four there question there, Amir. You are an activist for dyslexia. Can you tell the Swiss audience about that?
Well, I discovered while serving time in prison that I was dyslexic. I was diagnosed while in prison, and but before then, I never did well in school. I always skipped school. I shot hooky in the third grade to avoid the spelling test, which one would say is abject poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in the projects of New Orleans, no father, mother struggling with 3 kids. Eventually, she had 5, and I was the one that always caused problems. Both brothers and sisters went on to college to do very well, but I struggled academically, and I never learned to read, and so it depressed me. And my mother, who was totally oblivious to my problem, as I was very, very frustrated with me, very, very frustrated with me. And so when I got to prison, I was diagnosed in prison. And for the first time, I realized that I wasn't stupid and dumb, as I was called those names. There was an issue that was going on. And so, but I still hid that when I got out, because it's you being who you are, there's a shame and scourge that go with the not being able to read fluently. So what I did, I taught myself to read while in prison and obtain my GED. And here's how I taught myself. I taught myself for 4 years. I did 4 years in the joint. So I wrote down every word I didn't know and just memorized a bunch of words. And so I didn't fritter time away in prison by playing basketball, football. But for 4 years, that's what I did. I said to myself, I have to get my GED. I have to face this mountain of this enemy of dyslexia head on. And so I attained my GED, became a fluent reader, but not a skill reader.
Right.
A fluent reader, but not a skill reader. A skill reader. A skill reader is able to blend words and segment words. Philadelphia. So I had to remember how to spell Philadelphia by seeing Philadelphia and writing it down, opposed to sounding it out.
Right.
And so that's the problem that dyslexics have. But what I also discovered, there were many men in prison had this same problem. This illiteracy problem was huge in prison. Guys would ask guys, hey, man, how to spell tomorrow? How to spell there? Just basic words, man. So you have a large number of inmates who are reading on 3rd, 4th grade levels in prison. Mm-hmm. And Senator Bill Cassidy and I and his wife, we went to a prison, Huntsville Correctional Facility. And so we screened men and women for dyslexia. 52% of them were dyslexic, and many of them read on the 4th to the 5th grade level. So literacy is a huge problem in America. We have a huge problem, a titanic problem with literacy. So oftentimes dyslexic, they fall through the cracks, and the probability of them going to prison is very, very high, particularly if you're living in urban areas.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Our urban Black boys are being called dumb, stupid, when they should be embraced and loved and walk through the process of their illness or their or their differences. I would call it their differences,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Steve Jobs is dyslexic. Bill Gates was dyslexic. But what they had and what we don't have as Blacks is the nurturing component, nor the resources to accommodate our kids. It's $75 an hour. I was able 2 years ago to go online after I testified before the United States Senate on dyslexia. There was a doctor, Dr. Conway, told me, he said, Amir, I want to teach you how to read. I said, no, man, I know how to read. He said, no, Amir, you don't know how to read. You just memorize words. So I took a course online for 15 months, every day for an hour. And I said to myself, had someone given me this course in the third, fourth grade, I would have never gone to prison. I would have never gone to prison because I just didn't like school because I couldn't read.
Right.
But I was athletic. I was a good-looking kid. I had no problems with school due to the fact, the only fact that I had was that I couldn't read. So many of our kids today, particularly our Black boys and even white kids, they do the same thing. They cut up in class because they don't want to be there. They feel uncomfortable. So that's why I've devoted my life to being an activist because, hey, man, you got to get the word out that, listen, even though you have this challenge with reading, it does not impact the intelligence. It does not impact the intelligence. So it's 3 or 4 people that are on Shark Tank that are dyslexic, have issue with reading, but they're wealthy people. So you have to be able to look beyond your inability and see your abilities. So, God had given me a good body. I was a model. I made money modeling. I'm an actor. I can speak well. I've made money speaking. I've written a book. So it's beyond that. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be, we have to get past the shame and scourge of it. And so our people have to quit calling people stupid. Oh, you dumb. You can't read. What did they say to Steve Jobs? What did they say to Richard Branson? He's a billionaire, dyslexic. It takes him hours to read. He said at 50, he had just started reading his own paperwork at 50 years old. Other than that, he would have other people to read it for him. So these are stories that people need to know, and so they won't feel uncomfortable because they have this issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to say, Amir, I want to thank you for opening up about that because that is, I really feel a connection to your story. I've always struggled with a learning disability in my school years, and I just couldn't stand school because I just couldn't catch on as quick as everybody else. So so I definitely understand that shame, that pain, feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you're not smarter than everybody else. So I definitely agree with you that we need to stop with the name calling and stop with the demonizing,
labeling.
Labeling and demonizing these types of issues. So
right.
I commend you for advocating for that and wanting to educate people on, like you said, we have a real problem in America with illiteracy. So I'm happy that you opened up your story because I'm hoping with people who listen to this podcast, someone who listens with dyslexia can feel that they're not alone and they can feel like someone understands. So I think that's incredible.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also, for the ladies out there, the young girls, Octavia Spencer, who's a talented actress. She's dyslexic. She came out and revealed it that she was dyslexic. So we need people like that out there, and also get involved, going to schools, because it's our people. We can help our own people.
Absolutely.
But we get caught up into what we're doing. Your life is for everyone else. Your life is a gift. Just think about if Martin Luther King was just concerned about himself. He'd be living today, probably, right? But he wasn't concerned about himself. He was concerned about his people. So we have to get out of that and get involved. So I'm using my platform to get involved because it's, the best people among us are those who help humanity. Those are the best people.
So agree with that. So totally agree with that. And I'm glad that, I did not know that Octavia Spencer was dyslexic. So that is something I did not even know. So, but I'm happy.
She struggles with reading. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. We definitely need more people The more people, the more I think we can humanize these conversations and actually start making an impact. So
Oh, absolutely.
yes, I so
Absolutely.
agree
You
with
can
that.
encourage so many. You can encourage, I'm able to encourage a lot of people in jail, kids in prison, because, oh man, you act, I saw you on this. But, imagine someone that is nationally known.
Right.
Like LeBron James. I mean, can you imagine, if you could use your platform? Like LeBron is just a perfect paragon, but on another flip side. I mean, he's using this part. He's not dyslexic, but he's using his skill level as a basketball player to educate millions of people, and that, I love that, man. I just love that.
Me too.
Just love it. I do.
I do too, and like you said, it can you imagine someone worldwide, having dyslexia and having that platform to be able to speak about it and be able to make a positive change about it. But I feel we can start with ourselves, and we can start now. Like I said, you have been an amazing advocate for it. So I know people will definitely hear this, and then they'll feel like, oh, hey, well, I did see that guy on that show, and I didn't know, and now I feel like I'm not alone, and now I feel like I want to jump in the conversation and help make a positive change. So it's
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Ameer, coming on to the number 5 question, I want to make sure my audience keeps up with you, your work, your advocate when you talk about dyslexia. I want to make sure they follow all of that. Where are you on social media?
I'm at Ameer Baraka. That's AmeerBarak. That's my name on Twitter and Instagram. Ameer Baraka. AmeerBaraka. And my website is kingbaraka.com. A lot of videos there of work that I've done, interviews, etc. So I got my hand to the plow. Just trying to be, there was a movie after the Holocaust. Leon Nelson was the guy that was buying the Jews back, and afterwards, I think he had saved about 1,200 Jews, and he had a Rolls Royce, and he had a diamond ring, and he said something that struck the core of me. He said, so the other actor said, thank you so much. You saved many of us. But he said, I could have done more. If I'd have sold my car, maybe I could have bought 10 more. This ring, maybe I could have bought 5 more with this ring. And you could never do enough. Right. You could never do enough. So it's always more you can do when it comes to reaching out to other people. And that's the attitude we have to have as a people.
I so agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to kind of get past the me talent, but the mentality, and start thinking of as we. We need to start helping each other. Yes, we. Yes, we need to help each other. We need to be there for each other. We need to support each other. We need to, if we're struggling, we need to be able to come to one another, for that. I feel like there's been enough me. Now there just needs to be more of we.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Going on to the number 6 question, Ameer, what goals do you hope to reach in your career as an actor?
Currently, my desire, I have the screenplay to my book, The Life I Chose, The Streets Lied to Me, and I have the screenplay titled Undiagnosed. I got to get this movie done. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I got to get done. I got to get this movie done. I just want to see this transcribed from paper to visual.
Absolutely.
And so that's one of my biggest objectives right there. I mean, working with other people will be fine, and that would be good. That stuff would be good. But I think you could talk about something and people can get a grasp to it. A lot of people are visual, and I think it will be very compelling to America and those abroad regarding the situation of dyslexia, how I want it done. It's gonna be something totally different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big goal for me. Also to work with to start working back with Alfonso Gomez. He's the director of the American Horror Stories. Talented guy, man. So I want to get back. I want to get back on American Horror Stories as well. I just
yes.
Something about that show, man, that really
it's addicting.
I really enjoy. Yeah, it's addicting.
I will say, I am such a huge fan. I've been a fan since it debuted. It's addicting. It's just a show you can't stop watching.
From the makeup artist to everybody, everybody was just, I just had a blast. I met a lot of wonderful people, and so when you're not working with those people again, it's kind of like it's I don't know, kind of heart-wrenching, man, to meet so many wonderful people and then you don't see them again. So
right, absolutely. Well, I do hope that works out. I hopefully it works out where you can be on the American Horror Story again. That would be awesome. So I think it'd be great to see you and Angela Bassett back on the screen together. Just saying.
Yeah. One more last trip.
Yes, please. I need one more mass trip. I love it.
One more last trip.
Going on to the last few questions there, Mr. Ameer. Name a director. I know you said Alfonso, but name another director you would love to work with.
A director that I would love to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you this, man. Seriously. There's so many great directors out there.
Mm-hmm.
So many great directors. There's been a new surge of directors that are coming up now with these new movies and new directors. But the late John Singleton, man, who's dead and gone, man, he was a guy that I always dreamed about working with. Very talented guy, visual, but he's no longer with us. But Denzel, I would love to work with Denzel because I think not only is he a great director, but he's a great actor, and great actors are more great directors. So even though he doesn't get the opportunity to direct often, but he's just one of those. He's just that type of guy, man. That I believe that could direct me in such a way where he can pull out of you what he knows lie dormant in every actor.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Denzel would definitely be a guy that I would want to work with. Robert De Niro. I mean, these are all talented actors, man, and talented actors are definitely talented directors.
Mm-hmm. I will agree with that.
I mean, everybody wants to work with the greats, but I want to work with great actors, man. Great actors.
Absolutely. Love it. Love that list. Love Denzel Washington.
Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
So,
that would be a good one.
These are talented people. Yeah, definitely. So that's those are the people that in this game here is you just keep rolling. You just keep rolling until you're able to come across someone like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Clint Eastwood is a great choice because he is he's really really good at period pieces. The Changeling, that was a really good movie with Angela.
Denzel. I mean, Clint Eastwood is. Oh man, come on! You're talking about a guy that's been in the business for 50-something years, man. Wow, man. He knows the ins and outs. You know what I mean? To sit there, man. He's a man of few words, but. Just to be among these guys and listening. I mean, I love to listen, man. When you're around these guys, you have to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they know how to get it out of you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we just got a couple more questions there for you, Ameer. We did mention earlier you were nominated for a Daytime Emmy. I just want to know, what was that experience like for you? How did you react when someone first told you you were nominated for a Daytime Emmy?
Well, the first thing is getting pre-nominated.
Mm-hmm.
you have the pre-nominations, where it's the first, you got to get into the top 10. So it's all these actors that are out there. You're submitted, and then you get pre-nominated, and you say, oh, wow, cool. Wow, I got pre-nominated. And then you got to get nominated. So it's like this. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Seriously. I just wish the next time they could just tell me, okay, you're nominated. Because, we all are, it makes you anxious, right? So you get all this anxiety from one stage to the next. And once you get there, once you find out you're nominated, man, it's like, wow, like being nominated is just like winning to me, because you're in the top 5. You're in the top 5. So in the top 5 is good enough for me. I mean, to make the top 5, it's oh my God. I mean, they're saying you're better. I mean, you're better than 90-80% of the people that that pool their reels together, and they had to pick, and you made the top 5. So that was phenomenal, man. I tell you, it really put a stamp on my confidence, and it let me know, Ameer, no matter what, never second guess yourself.
Yeah.
Never. And so that's what it did for me. I felt that way, and I feel that way right now. If I never get another role, if I never work again, I was nominated. Not many people could say that.
No, you're right.
Not many people could say that, particularly coming from where I came from, prison, abject poverty, drug addiction. Was on heroin at 14, 15 years old. So I started in the end zone. I started from the end zone all the way to the next, all the way to the 50-yard line, or whatever it may be. But I didn't start at the 10-yard line or the 15-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
So I measure my success not from where I am right now, but from where I started.
Yes.
So that it really did something for me, man. And my mother, it's funny, my mother, who used to call me dumb and stupid, told me years ago, she said, baby, I'm going to the awards with you. God showed me that one day I'm going to be on a red carpet with you. That's what my mother was speaking to me for years. She said that.
Oh, wow.
And lo and behold, I had the opportunity either to take a young lady that I was dating or take my mother. And I said, you know what? I got to take my mother.
Right.
Because she spoke that into my life.
Mm-hmm.
So to see her there, to see her dreams become a reality was definitely big for me. So, and once we got there, man, it was just wow, this is what it's all about. Wow, this is really, really cool, to share that moment with my mother, man. And, that was something that was, I don't think any moment could eclipse that,
Right. Absolutely. And that, in this situation, it shows mothers truly know best. Your mother knew that this was going to happen. She spoke that into existence for you, and it happened. And then, one moment that must have been. It's something I definitely hope to achieve one day in my own career, to one day, walk a red carpet with my mom and kind of feel that same experience. So,
yeah. I think, the thing is that if you could see it and have the faith to believe it and work towards it, it'll manifest. For some reason, that's just how life is, man. I used to see myself doing what I'm doing, man, and it manifests, man.
Absolutely. All
So
right.
it will happen for you.
Yes, I'm hoping that will. I would love for that moment to happen, and yes, I am speaking it into existence. That's definitely going to happen one day.
Hey, can I say this?
Of course.
Can I say this with all due respect? Don't hope. Hope. There's billions of cells that live inside of us, man, and it's energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with hope. Your expectation. Expect it to happen.
Okay.
Expect it to happen. All right. So expect that to happen.
Yeah, I like that better. I'm going to expect that to happen. Yeah,
Expect
that does sound a lot better.
Right. And it's not arrogance or being conceited. No, it just that's your expectation.
Exactly. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. I expect that. Ooh, yes, I like that so much better than hope. You're right. That's a lot better than hope, for sure.
Yeah.
Going on